Um, so we talked a lot about the other questions that we were going to discuss. So we'll move it along to. I I guess I read a lot of different things on the internet about how long it takes for symptoms to resolve, and I asked you specifically about the panic attacks and the depression. Um, how long did it take before you started seeing progress? And then to this day, do you still get some relief when you're not glutened?
Well, this is one of the misconceptions out there that's why I'm on a crusade, so to speak, to get information, right information out there. What people don't understand, I believe, is this is an autoimmune disease. This isn't an allergy. So for people that have been out there publicly, high profile, saying, I eat gluten free and I feel better, and I have celiac disease and I just feel great now, that's wonderful for them. But that isn't always the case. In my case, I went through a detox period that no one told me about for at least a year. And I was in hell for a year. It was difficult, really hard. My body was going through a fluctuation like I can't. Well, I was in the hospital twice with tremors that I can't, like a heroin addict. Like I can't even begin, like couldn't speak and dripping, drenched with sweat pouring out of my body. And for the time it takes for the villi to heal, which is, usually a year, and the villi are the hair-like structures around your small intestine that absorb nutrients, and that's what gets damaged in this process of having celiac disease. So it takes a year to almost a year and a half, depending how severe your case was, to heal. So until you get to that point where you're able to heal and they're able to absorb nutrients, you're going to fluctuate. That being said, once they do heal, it's 1/8 of a teaspoon that can harm them. So even me, I am a stickler and fanatical about not getting any, you can't help but get some. So you're constantly going 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. So, you, it's this thing of this cycle. And um, the amount, on another note, the amount of nutrients and minerals and vitamins that your body is lacking because of celiac disease, because you didn't have these nutrients, the villi couldn't absorb these nutrients, you have to do a balancing act with vitamins and nutrients, and you need a great doctor, nutritionist to do that, and that's difficult because to this day, I am still trying to balance out nutrients and vitamins. I just recently, just this past summer, this past couple months, I had eyelashes falling out, hair started falling out again, rashes on my skin. I had no idea why. And I went to 10 doctors in 12 days. And everyone's saying something different. They check me for all other autoimmune diseases because once you have one, you're very open to have others. So this is a constant journey. And it turned out what my eyelashes and all that was from, again, through a lot of my own research, I found out that I was allergic to other things. Once you have one allergy like this to gluten, wheat, it's usually dairy, it's usually other things because you develop what's called a leaky gut. And with that, you can get tons more allergies. So for anyone to believe that these symptoms are going to just completely disappear, you're kidding yourself. You need constant maintenance with this disease. Can you have an easier time than me? Absolutely, absolutely. But there are people that are feeling bad, like I was when I did hear certain, high profile people saying, I feel great and I just got off gluten and I feel fantastic. That wasn't my case. So I don't want to now have celiac and still feel bad that I'm not doing something correct. It's an autoimmune disease. And with that, that doesn't go away.
Right, and I don't think it's well known that you can have these withdrawal symptoms. I remember reading on your blog that somebody alerted you to the fact that somebody in the medical field alerted you to the fact that it may happen, that
Yes.
there are there are anecdotal cases where they've seen that.
And it was literally told to me in a conversation like this. Well, you're gonna want to check your vitamins. You may have some detox symptoms, and you may go through a detox period. But just get off gluten, and you should feel somewhat better. Like I remember that conversation now, and it's just like, excuse me, what? And then I went to a big head doctor, and his nutritionist sat with me and didn't say a word about vitamins, told me where I could get good tasting bread. And I remember sitting there going, I know that there's more to this. That's how this journey started, because getting the diagnosis, I thought I was on the road to a path of like, oh, okay, now I know, now we could do something about it. And what led me to this position I'm in right now, wanting to change things and educate, is because there's there was nothing. There was nothing. And I had money to go to the best doctors. That's why I formed Jennifer's Way, because it's the way I found out of this hole that I was in. It's the way I learned to have a life. And I think it's very necessary for people to have the right information. Like I said, I had the money to go to the best doctor, and I wasn't told much.
So tell us about Jennifer's Way. That's your nonprofit.
Um,
What is the goal? And
well, there's so many parts of Jennifer's Way. Jennifer's Way. First, I started with a blog because I wanted to get information out there. Um, then through having to eat what was out there already, I realized that so much of the stuff that is out there is loaded with sugar and white rice flour and tapioca starch. There's no nutritional value, preservatives. It's loaded with, sorry, but crap. And especially now that this is becoming a moneymaker for corporations, they're putting out these cereals with, there's one cereal on the market that has something close to formaldehyde in it. And I don't know. I don't want to eat from formaldehyde. And I remember just not feeling great with some of the gluten-free products I was eating. So I've always been a cook. I started on a journey to create things that I wanted, because I'm a foodie, a big foodie. And this, I laugh with friends, like, this couldn't have been the worst joke anyone could throw on me. I mean, I've traveled to Italy by myself, literally just to eat. And this is like a cruel joke, and I want food, and I want good food, but I know that it needs to be nutritious for me now. It is vital. So I went on a journey to create. I have over 150 recipes. I just have my all-purpose flour mix and my pancake mix that I just coming out now. Um, so it's putting together products that I want people to know, that when they see Jennifer's Way, they know they can feel safe. They know that it's going to be nutritious, and it's coming from someone who lives it. So that's one aspect. And a book to explain what I went through and what I did, and recipes, all of that. But then on the other side is the Jennifer's Way Foundation for Celiac Education. And that's going to take some time, because I want to change things. Hospitals, I cannot tell you, 3 times, I think it was, that they had wanted to keep me in the hospital because I had gone to ER and major allergic symptoms. And I remember one in Miami, great hospital, saying, I really want to keep you, but I have nothing to feed you. Another time went into the hospital to have a slight operation. I went to fill out all these papers that you fill out. Autoimmune box, had every autoimmune disease, didn't have celiac disease there. And I wrote celiac disease in big red letters. I woke up from anesthesia and they tried to give me crackers and jello. And I don't understand. And I just made these medical alert bracelets that have celiac on it, that if you are in the hospital and you can't speak for yourself, that they at least see. Not that I think it's going to do a damn difference, because I cannot tell you the amounts of times they tried to give me medication with gluten, or they tried to give me, something that I couldn't have. So it's scary. It's very scary, because where do I go if I'm in trouble?
Right,
Um,
and that's another important point to bring up, is that there is hidden gluten
oh,
in
everything,
medication
everything.
and obviously in food.
Charcoal, lip products, hand products. Um, I was getting sick last summer. I was barbecuing a lot. I was getting so sick. I had no idea why. I was cooking. I was in charge. I was like, what am I doing? I don't know why. I decided one day, I said, I'm going to take apart everything. And I thought, what about the charcoal? I don't know why. I started doing some research. Sure enough, charcoal has gluten.
I had
I
no
mean,
idea.
certain tea bags are sealed together with a wheat starch. I mean, it's 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 insane.
That I did not know that. That's
It's crazy. I have a part on my blog called "Did You Know?" and it's things like that. Just just tidbits of "Did you know this?" Because I didn't. And I want you to know this, because, like I said, it's that 1/8 of a teaspoon. I get emails all the time of people telling me, Jennifer, I still don't feel well. Jennifer, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Jennifer, and it's like, I wish I can go through your day with you, but I'm guaranteeing you there's something that you're not realizing. I guarantee it. Because like I said, I am a stickler on this stuff, and I make sure I know what the hell I'm doing. And still, I have been, I've been duped.
and your blog is jennifersway.org.
Yes. And it's right now it's under we just put it under construction today. It'll be up again in a week, because we're updating. I have so many, so like I said, so many things going on. We actually just got the complete contract. I'm doing a cruise with Royal Caribbean. It's the first 100% gluten-free cruise. We're taking apart the entire kitchen. I said I will not do this unless that kitchen goes through a complete turnaround, because there's also a big, big issue with cross-contamination. So we're taking apart the kitchen. I am giving them what meats to get, because they put hormones in meats. Just for instance, you get a piece of chicken and you see grill marks on it. If those grill marks didn't come off an actual grill, there is actually something that puts grill marks on it, and in those grill marks there's gluten.
Ugh.
It's it's insane.
And I imagine, from what I hear from the community, that even the chefs who work in these kitchens don't realize the cross-contamination issues.
That is another big frustrating thing, because one of my great joys in life was going to a restaurant, eating what the chef, the creator, was making, and having it with wine and pairing it with this, and that is out the window. And even when you do go now, there's so much hype about gluten-free that you'll see a waitress roll her eyes like, yeah, I got it, gluten-free. But it's like, no, you don't have it, because I'm not a celebrity trying to lose weight. I actually need this to live, and if you make a mistake, I'm going to be in trouble, real trouble. And sometimes for me, when I get gluten, I mean, I can't even begin the process I go through. Sometimes it puts me down for a week.